Alright everybody, so today I'm bringing you one of my favorite Jordan 4s to release in 2024, and the question is, do sneakerheads even care about it? So let's go ahead and take a look at the Jordan 4 Oxidized Green. Let's get into it. What's going on everybody, it's Mike from the Sneaker History Podcast and we are back with another video. Guys, you already know what I'm going to tell you, right? You already know. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, drop a comment. Those things get the video through the algorithm so more and more people can see it, and it helps the channel grow. So I really do appreciate everyone who's done so already, and those who will do so in the future. I appreciate you guys as well. But let's go ahead and move along from the normal intro. Let's get right into the shoe, because this again is one of my favorites to release when it comes to Jordan 4s, and that's going to be the Oxidized Green. Now, this is second, in my opinion, to only the Jordan 4 Reimagined Black Cement, but I think this is just a great looking shoe. Very simple, very clean. This was the birthday present for my wife for my birthday a couple weeks ago. We went to the Nike store. She's like, hey, get a pair. I'm like, great, I'll see what they had there. These and the military blues, believe me or not, were sitting right next to it. And I put them both up in the hand. I'm like, okay, you want to test them out. I was walking around the store with them both for a while. I couldn't figure out which one I wanted. And when I just sat there and really examined both next to each other, guys, this is a better quality Jordan 4 than the military blue was. And I'm not saying by like head and shoulders different, because we know they're typically using the same leathers. This one's probably just a little bit more tumbled. But just looking at the shoe, I don't know. It just didn't feel as nice as this one. Just leave it at that. It just didn't feel as nice. And I have a pair of the 2012 military blues up here somewhere. Even though I love the shoes, my favorite Jordan 4, if you guys didn't know that, but I didn't feel like I needed another one. And I know you're probably like, well, it's not your favorite Jordan 4. Well, yeah, it is. I just have one already that's still wearable. I mean, I didn't need another one. And again, for some reason, even though I love the shape of the new one, it just quality-wise, material-wise, it just wasn't doing it for me. So I'm all about bang for my buck, and this one seemed to give me better value for my dollar. So that's the reason I chose this one. And I'm not a big green fan in the sense of like light greens or just normal greens, but a dark green or olive green, you'll get me every time. And this is that kind of dark forest green hits, and it looks good the way they put it together. So we'll get right into it. This is going to be your typical Jordan 4. It does have the updated shape, so we're getting a better look to it, thank goodness. So this one's going to be a predominantly white leather upper. It's going to be a tumbled leather. You guys will see here. It's not the worst leather in the world. It's not the best leather in the world, but again, it was better than what I saw in the military 4s. Now we're going to have that same leather going across the mud guard here, done up in that white as well. And as we move up to the shoe, we're going to get our laces, our flat laces here. We're going to have our typical netting on the tongue. That's going to be white netting with that dark oxidized green backing it, or underlay, I should say. And we're going to have our plastic eyelets that are done up in that oxidized green as well. Now this shoe, when you look at it, first thing people kept saying, I don't know why, they're like, oh, this is like the SB4 Lite. If you couldn't get the SB4, this one's a good consolation. I mean, if you like Jordan 4s, you just missed it on that one, you want a green Jordan 4, sure. This has zero resemblance to me, besides the word green inside of it, of that SB4. I don't know why people kept saying that. They're like, oh, this if you couldn't get it, this is the poor man's SB4. I'm like, this is a completely different shoe and colorway, in my opinion. Like that, I don't see the resemblance. If anything, if you missed out on metallic green 4s a few years back, that's what this is. This is a different version of the metallic pack, and I like the differences that this does. So I wasn't a big fan of that metallic pack because it was just this stark white shoe with just these little hits of color in just very minimal places. This took the metallic pack and elevated it, in my opinion. So like we talk about the backing, the underlay under the netting here, you get green there as opposed to it being white. Of course, you're gonna have the accents on the eyelets here. They're gonna be on the leather wings, and of course on the bottom of the eyelets here, like we already looked at. But you're gonna also get that same underlay under the white netting on the lateral and medial sides here. And I think that just takes it takes a step further than the metallic pack to me. Again, my opinion, everyone has different ones, but that's why I like this better than the metallics, because it was not just these smidget bits of color added. This was actually a good amount that still gives you like, okay, it's a white sneaker, but it gives it more character, more depth, as opposed to just, again, being all white with a little bit of color. I don't know what the sound was, just a little bit of color there. Now, we're going to get up to the tongue. Of course, you're going to have the white leather Jordan 4 tongue. And this is, again, the restructured tongue and rebuilt tongue. We're not having the cushion go over the top. This is going to be the traditional, or I guess closer to original tongue as you're going to get right now. Has the Oxidized Green Jumpman, and it says Flight underneath in white. And it almost has kind of like the satin finish on the tag itself. And when we get to the back of the tongue, the insides of the shoe, of course, you're going to have the upside down Air Jordan done up in oxidized green. You're going to have the inside, the liner done up in oxidized green. But instead of being just kind of that normal like cotton inside, almost like fleece feeling, this is like a satin interior they put in the shoe. Very premium for just a general release. I don't know if you guys can even tell, but very nice. It's very very soft, very comfortable. I actually really like it. I didn't think I would at first, but I really do like the satin finish on the inside. It looks good, feels good, and again, something different than what you typically get in your day-to-day Jordans, or Jordan 4s, I should say. Inside, you're gonna have that crappy Dream Cell insole. This thing is gonna probably bottom out in about a week of wearing, but it's gonna be covered in that. The oxidized green fabric to top off the insole with the white Jumpman here. But yeah, I don't know why. I mean, again, I know they typically put the polyurethane insoles in more of the higher end product or the original colorways, but this, guys, y'all gotta stop with this. This is actually just, these are terrible. But again, I digress. I don't want to stick too bad on the bad part because I actually really like this shoe. Now, okay, there we go. I always mess up putting these insoles back, and I've been doing this for what, collecting sneakers for years, but doing these reviews for like what, about 5 years now, and I still can't get an insole back in. So anywho, now this is going to be one of the Jordan 4s that has the leather tabs on it, so you don't have the plastic. And it's funny with Jordan 4s, I always hear about people saying, oh man, that plastic heel tab cut into my ankles. I have never had that happen. In fact, I don't even understand how that happened. What are you doing to have this cut into your ankle? How is that even getting in there? Your ankle's here, the thing's behind your ankle. Like, I don't know. Again, maybe it's just because my ankles are built weird. Maybe I'm the weird one here, but yeah, this one's gonna be done up in leather, so you don't have to really worry about that. It's gonna be softer than the plastic. And I really like the raised plastic Jumpman here. It's raised to have that, again, like the Metallics pack had. It's really cool. I like this. Almost like this jeweled Jumpman. It's really just different than any ones I've seen before in hand, and I really like that. It just kind of adds this extra touch with this, like, it's kind of popping out in 3D at you. Really, really cool. Now, when you get down to the midsole, first thing you're gonna see is gonna have the oxidized green hit on the top of the midsole here, right towards the back, and of course towards the front, that little pod there. We're gonna get down, and I kind of like how they did this. I didn't think I would at first because I was like, why not just make the whole thing kind of off-white? But it breaks up the midsole nicely because at the basically air unit area, the heel area, the midsole is going to have this off-white cream finish. So you see from the lateral side here, we're going around to the lateral, or I'm sorry, medial side I started with, and run to the lateral side here. You have this off-white color of the part of the midsole, but then you get right into the front where the outsole starts to wrap up, you get white. So I really like the layers of color they put there. Just looks a little different than, you know, what you typically get, and I like that. And they didn't get too crazy with the aging. It just has its own kind of personalized look here, and I really do, again, I can appreciate that. Get into the outsole, your typical Jordan 4 outsole. You're gonna have your green pods here, herringbone traction, of course. You're gonna have your stars up top on the toe cap. You're gonna have green there, green here, Jumpman. Super simple. Guys, I mean, how many times have you seen a Jordan 4 review? Super simple, super easy, true to size, in my opinion. Decently comfortable. I mean, one of the more comfortable Jordans, and to me, I don't have problems wearing them. Just wish they put better insoles in them. That's my biggest complaint. But this one, guys, reason I want to make the video is because this sneaker has suffered from an oversaturation, there we go, of the same thing. Not that they're producing too many shoes by the number, but producing too many of the same kind of shoes by the numbers. How many Jordan 4s are we getting? All the time. I feel like it's July, I think we've gotten 5 Jordan 4s already overall, 6 Jordan 4s. I think Nike has to realize, Jordan Brand has to realize that, what's the best way to say this, because there's always room for classics. I'm not saying that at all, because I love the classics. I know you guys love the classics, but we have to do something different. We have to innovate more because you're losing ground to competitors. I'm not saying you're still not the top dog out there, Jordan Brand or Nike, you know, both are kind of one and the same when I speak about this, but you're losing that ground to these other brands who are doing different things, taking more chances, giving us the opportunity to see something different. You will always have, this is a classic. It's okay, keep producing. I'm not saying don't produce this anymore, but do some more. And I know this is a very polarizing shoe I'm gonna bring up, but it's perfect timing because of the shoe we're talking about. But the Jordan 4 RM that's coming out, the remastered, the relook, or retool, whatever you wanna call it, it is a very polarizing shoe where people either like it or they hate it. but it's something different. It's got people talking. This doesn't have people talking anymore unless you have a crazy collaboration attached to it. Do more new things. This shoe, I appreciate that it came out on June 15th and I walked in the store on July 7th and grabbed the pair with no hassle. That's awesome. I love that. So let's keep doing that. But if you want to keep people talking about your brand, you got to bring the old and the new together. So keep producing the classics, but keep doing new things. Again, they're going to be polarizing. People are going to have to get used to it, but that's what keeps the customers coming back, because you're doing something interesting. And that's why people are like, oh, Jordans are dead. Jordan 4s, Jordan 1s are dead. No, it's not that they're dead. People will buy them, but there's no conversation around them anymore because we know what to expect already. Run of the mill, same thing. Is it remastered, or I'm sorry, is it reimagined with old colored soles or cracked leather, or is it just a general release? That's all we have to think about when it comes to Jordan. So keep innovating, guys. Again, I'm really excited about the Jordan 4 RM because it's so different and just out there, I feel like. And people will hate what they don't understand at this point because it's not this. But even though it may not be the hottest selling shoe, it's gonna do, again, it gets people thinking and gets people talking. That's what you want. So with that, I want to leave you guys. Did you guys like this Jordan 4 Oxidized Green? Do you still rock with the Jordan 4s? Let me know down below in the comments. Yes, no, maybe so. But I look forward to talking to you guys there. And until next time, see ya.